What's going on, guys? Saturday here at NV Motorsport, and today I'm going to take you on a journey for some supercar shopping. You know what's funny? You know, if we had some Lambo doors, getting in and out would be so much easier on the ramp. Now go up, jump in. We're going supercar shopping, but that M2 is probably quicker than most supercars there. So such an exciting day planned today. I mean, who doesn't like going shopping, let alone supercar shopping? And the reason for it is because recently we've had loads of inquiries from supercar owners for wheels, intakes, kind of exhaust, etc. So it only makes sense to get one to develop on. With the way the NVM Engineered is kind of taking its route, we are doing a lot of development on intakes, exhaust, etc. So let's have a look. Let's pop down to the showroom, kind of go through a few of the options and see which one Tom's is going to drive back in. I need to stick that. Don't forget to click the subscribe button, guys. How's it going, Matt?
Welcome. Come take a look around.
So this is Matt at GVE London. He's going to show us around today and show us some epic cars, apparently.
That's it. Cool.
Let's
come check it out. So GVE London, #1 supercar showroom in Europe. We specialise in supercars, hypercars, performance cars, anything you can imagine, like your luxury cars, you name it. You look in here, you see it. We got everything from the Enzo on our right.
I'm absolutely gobsmacked as to the beautiful cars you've got here.
That's it. There's not many places you can come into and stand next to two Veyrons side by side. This is brand new stock for us. This is a very special Veyron. The one on the left, unfortunately, is sold, so you won't be driving that home today.
Bit out of my budget, I'll be honest with you,
but yeah, we have some very, very special stock in here. And at GVE, we're kind of a one-stop shop. So the one thing for us is we've got our own service department. We have our own PPF, detailing, wrapping, body shop, you name it, everything under one roof.
I mean, absolutely, man. I mean, the range of supercars is crazy. You've got, Ferraris over there, Porsches, Lambos in between, and you've got some right unicorns, like 2 Bugattis in one shot. I've never seen one Bugatti in the showroom, let alone 2.
And I'll tell you what, even going to some more of the modern stuff, I don't think you could really go down to even some of your high-end Lamborghini showrooms and be able to see 3 SVs all parked side by side. So here is our famous gold turntable.
Wow, yeah, the most famous turntable in the world, apparently.
So
absolutely gorgeous.
All the pictures you see online, that backdrop, this is what we're known for. This is where we have a lot of our reveals as well. It's where all the cars are photographed. This particular F12 here is currently left over from a very good customer of ours collecting his car last night. Had a few drinks, so couldn't drive it away, so we're going to leave that looking there pretty for now. So yeah, that's star of the show.
It's a battleship green, is it? What is it?
Check it out, 458.
Wow, wow. 458.
So the customer for this, he saw inspiration. We wrapped Mist 720. You might have seen the launch party for Mist 720.
Green and yellow, wasn't it?
Identical. So all of a sudden, someone got the inspiration to be like, this is what they're going for. And now, this car's actually up for sale. So one lucky owner will be driving this away.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's more comfortable, right? Ferraris are...
I personally think it's more comfortable. It's definitely a more comfortable driving position. It's even down to like seats and headroom. Like you'll see this when we jump in a few cars. Like sometimes when you get, say maybe a guy more of my stature, jump me into a Huracan and then see the head height difference between when I go into these. And you can see that just between when you look at kind of how aggressive this windscreen is in angle compared to what you've got there. And it's really down for, I mean, you could have what is on paper the world's best car, but if the driving position is uncomfortable and doesn't feel right and natural to you, you're never going to enjoy that vehicle.
they need to be unique in the supercar world. So
and it's almost how much can they spend over the list price.
Yeah.
So like the F8 that I've got inside at the moment, I think that's got £60,000 of options. So this is the thing, it's not just like the list price of the car, then all of a sudden there's that, and you have to take that into account of resale value, and then also like your resale value of what's that going to be another year or 2 or 5 down the line. That kind of. So take a 720 into account. You wouldn't have wanted to be the first owner of that car and buy it for, say, over 300,000,
No.
and now I tell you it's 150.
crazy.
But if you're buying a 720 and it's 150,000, and you know that that kind of depreciation curve flattens off quite a bit, and that car's still going to be worth, you know, 140 in a year or 2, that kind of thing, it's a bit of an all-round winner. Brand new 720 Spider that we've just had delivered. The rest we've currently got are coupes. But where do you want to start? You name it and we'll go through.
Well, this is the question. I mean, at the moment, you know, the kind of the route we want to take is going to be of kind of typically 3 brands: McLaren, kind of Lambo, Ferrari, possibly Porsche as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't have many Porsches here, but we do.
Yeah.
Have some coming, don't we?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think
absolutely.
That'll be the kind of.
I think the thing is, because of the 992 Porsche release, all Porsches, 991s, even 997s going back to like 2007, they're hot property and they're going up in value. So the reason you don't see them here is not because we're not selling them, it's because as soon as they land, they go.
Wow.
Porsches are hot property right now. And not to say...
Matt owns a Porsche, by the way.
Yeah, well, we had a party last night and someone agreed to buy it, so watch this space. At the moment, 720s are absolutely hot property. This is why you see so many with us, you see so many outside. They do not hang around, and I think for the reason being is they've now hit that price point where they're now like a 150, 160 car. Do you know what I mean? They've come half the value of where they were.
I feel sorry for the first owner.
I do,
definitely,
yeah.
But they are an absolute technological dream.
Yeah, being able to jump into a car now that immediately feels like a race car.
Yeah.
The driving position, you automatically feel like you're in a race car. You're driving a car with 710 horsepower from stock before you even play around with it.
Yeah, when you say play around, obviously these are kind of capable of 1,000, 1,200 horsepower, which is very kind of interesting because it doesn't take much on the stock engine to get that. I think the only concern I've usually had about McLarens is reliability and the niggles that people are complaining about. But
I think it's the electronic side.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is, I don't think what people understand is like in these supercars, they have so much going on that sometimes you get that in a Lamborghini and you'll get that in a Ferrari, but maybe it just doesn't come up as much.
Yeah, I don't think a Lamborghini driver is going to complain as much as a McLaren driver.
Here, the one we've got on our left here is quite a low mileage example. This one's a slightly higher mileage example. I think the ages are identical. So the price is, call it 150 on both of them, but the slightly higher mileage one, as a result, is a much higher spec because of that. So as you can start telling the difference between the two, everywhere you look on here is laced with carbon fibre.
You can see that, all the vents, all the mirrors, everything has
headlights.
Headlights as well.
Even into their headlights, carbon fibre. Same at the back, the whole rear diffuser is going to be carbon fibre. So this will have, McLaren do it in 3 packs. It's carbon fibre pack 1, 2 and 3 for the externals. As you start going through the car as well, you'll even notice that the T-structure in the roof, that's carbon fibre. And down to all of kind of the vents and the intakes as well, they're carbon fibre. So sometimes what you get is you'll even get an owner find the perfect specification car for them, but they might want that in carbon fibre. You can still source it, but McLaren carbon fibre is not cheap, so it adds up.
It's crazy because I was at the launch for this at Geneva Motor Show, and it got so much stick for the front end.
Yeah.
Like as much as the M3 does, and everyone was hating it. And then they couldn't buy enough of them. Like,
whereas now it's like, now this is a car that's just not going to look dated. And all of a sudden you can see the amount of space you have to be able to get in, because even if I stand up next to it, I've got all this head height.
I think that's crazy because we were talking about that on the Perth, because it's so difficult to get in solid roof and so easy on a Spider. But this is a mix of both.
Here you can just lower straight into, and I think
you've got all that kick space as well, haven't you?
That's it. But you can see as well from the cockpit, it's kind of solely focused on the drive.
Oh wow! Literally, it's so easy to get in. I was always kind of considering this is going to be a pain in the ass to get in and out of, but even the cockpit itself it's so driver focused still, and it's got all the technology there ready. It's got a nose lift. Yeah, it's got nose lift. It's got kind of a massive wing at the back as well. It's got air brake.
So when all of your kind of dials that you want to focus in are kind of down on the left hand side of the steering wheel.
This is the one, you know. Ah, this is the one.
The one.
This is crazy. This is a beautiful place to be. You've got, you know, kind of a good vision up in front of you, around the side. It, literally, the car wraps around you, makes you feel like you're a part of the car, which is really cool. I mean, it's so easy to get in and out of as well, which is key when owning a supercar. But it sounds decent. I mean, it could do with an exhaust, I'll be honest with you.
Cat's out on these. The turbo spool is crazy.
Yeah, you get flames as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is a plan.
Bonus, yeah.
Matt, that has surprised me. In terms of accessibility, getting in and out, the sound, the kind of cockpit, the seating position, even though it's kind of slidey forwardy, no electrics in the seat, it literally is a nice place to be. And it's got the best of a Spider and a coupe all in one to get in and out of.
I think it's bang for buck, and that's why we're seeing so many sell through. Is it's huge performance. There's definitely areas of comfort and visibility that potentially other cars don't have, and also the ability to run silly power and put that power down. Yeah.
Well, let me know in the comments below as to what you think about today's supercars and which one I should get as our next project car.
So diving into a bit of our Ferrari section now. Brand new stock coming in, like this 812 GTS. Like an incredible, like super low mileage. You're looking at like 1,200 miles on there. You can see absolutely immaculate. You're like aftermarket wheels, So the stance is already kind of getting there. That plus a little spacer, I think, done.
I think, I don't know about the 812. 812 is front engine Ferrari. I'm not
it's more of like a Grand Tourer coming off the F12. I mean, for me, because it has the high revving V12 in it.
It sounds nuts.
It does sound nuts, but it's definitely one of those that's more of like the Grand Tourer car.
I'm not a purist when it comes to Ferraris. I'm literally after power. And for power, you need turbos. And what are these then?
That's when you dive into 488, and then you've got an F8 Tributo that we've currently got in stock. This one has literally just landed with us as well. Things are turning over so quickly. This is where you do get into your V8 twin turbos, like we were talking about on the 720s. You're looking at 660 horsepower. When you go into the 488, you can ramp that up by going into the F8, which is 710. You start getting into like the McLaren ballpark figure there. But the one thing with the Ferrari is you'll see when you jump in, and when I fire one of them up, they sound like an F1 race car. That's the one thing with them.
With the turbos on?
In the F12s and everything, 100%, and also, but if you put an aftermarket exhaust one of these with the turbos...
What are we going to do?
No,
so behind there we've got a 488 Pista.
488 Pista behind here.
Same sort of power as the F8, right?
Correct, absolutely spot on.
488.
Correct. You've got the same power output, but the one thing you do start getting is fully stripped down, more aero, lighter, everything is carbon fiber. If you go into this car, we'll get a snapshot of the back, but the one thing I love about Ferraris is the glass engine bay, being able to see in. I think this is the view you want to take in, but the one view you want to take in is in the Pista, where you have a full carbon fiber engine bay. So this is a huge factory option.
Come on, have a look at this.
So this is a huge factory option. Not only do you have the intake covers in carbon fiber, but you've got the full engine bay cover in carbon fiber as well. So everywhere you look on this car where there should be carbon fiber, to the ducts, anything aero, there is carbon fiber. So this is...
In comparison to the 488, let's talk kind of prices. Obviously the 488 is roughly...
you'll be talking double when you get into a Pista. So you're looking at kind of like 150, 155 for specification like you've got there. You're looking at around the 300 mark when you get into the Pistas. The Pistas as well, you can also have, the last one we had, carbon fiber alloys option as well. This is designed to be taken to the track and absolutely abused, enjoy it, and then what you end up doing is you tuck that away and then you drive your F8 on the weekend. Still, I mean, I think every Ferrari we've got in the showroom at the moment is very pretty.
Well, this is a 355.
Yep,
Netto, right?
Correct, spot on.
Beautiful. This was, it's funny, we're in the showroom, but this car was actually on my wall when I was about 10, 11 years old, and I'm actually in front of it now. What's the retail on this? I say that in the Fast and the Furious accent. What's the retail?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, did you...
Let's cut the video. I just want to take that home.
Yeah, that's just...
Sounds like a naturally aspirated Ferrari. Beautiful. So apparently the Ferraris are more comfortable than the Lambos. Obviously we're not in the most ideal space here, but we can kind of get a feel of it. I actually get what he means. It feels like a normal car in here. Like the seat feels nice, the view's amazing, like you can see the two arches. Steering wheel's beautiful, carbon fibre, you got the race switch. So yeah, I'm trying to get comfortable. It sounds mad trying to get comfortable in a supercar. But yeah, there's so much range of motion, like you can be very tall and still fit in here.
In the Ferraris especially, it's when you were and same again maybe a little bit in the McLarens. McLaren's a little bit more hugging.
Yeah.
Ferraris though are there for their comfort in the supercars, so you've got huge amount of adjustability within the seats. The seats are definitely by far one of the comfiest.
Oh mate, I could sit in here all day long. Like this is
you
definitely.
Still get the full race car experience from kind of the dial layout and of course your carbon fibre LED steering wheel.
Just start it up. It closes the valve straight away.
Yeah, straight away.
Definitely sounds the part. You can hear the turbos. But it's got that Ferrari roar. The seats, they do hold you, and they've got loads of thigh space or leg space. The pedal's a bit offset in comparison to the 488 because of the wheel arch, but yeah, very interesting.
Is this the one?
I don't know, you know, it's definitely a beautiful car, but until you kind of actually drive one, you will never know the difference between this and a 488. But it's there, it's on the list. Okay, what you got next, Matt?
Back into kind of like the Lambo section, going past, maybe next one, the SVs.
Well, the SV is definitely a buyer's car. Like,
yeah, something special.
Yeah, the guys who are purchasing these are probably holding on to them for a long time.
Yeah, and I think it's a bucket list car for a lot of kind of supercar enthusiasts now. That's where they're buying them. These are flying out at the moment for us. So this is where the bland in the Hurricane completely disappears. Really? So the Hurricane just goes full kind of fast road driving, track inspired. It's all about lightweight, aero. Everywhere you look, you're going to see forged carbon fibre the whole way through the car, right through to the wing. That same again, we'll fire up with the race exhaust as well. You get huge amount of, it's a Lamborghini, you get that huge Italian theatre from driving these. So when you're revving these up, it's a high revving V10. You do get the crackles and pops, and I mean, it's back to like being a kid. This is kind of our lovely coupe that has just currently come into stock here. Yeah. When you're diving into one of these at the moment in a high specification like you have here, you'd be looking around the 200K price point. When you're going up into the Spider that we have, very similar specification to here, it's about a £20,000 difference up into 220 in one of those. And that's when you're talking maybe F8 money.
So kind of over the standard Hurricane, you're talking a bit more power,
correct,
wheels,
correct,
ceramic brakes, aero, different intake manifolds, and different engine internals, right?
Correct. So you will notice is when we jump in this here, the seating position is very different. It's a fixed carbon bucket. It's much tighter. It's built for kind of like the 5'6" to 5'8" Italian man, a little bit more slender than I am.
So for the slim, average Italian.
Yeah. So this is like
nice and comfortably. I might struggle.
You'll even see like right down to kind of the floor mats. you can actually get those in a carbon fiber option as well. So this whole car is just designed for pure saving weight.
So obviously this one's easier to get in and out of because it's a Sport.
Because roof's off.
But generally, how difficult is it to get in and out of it?
I'll
jump on this one first.
Loads of headroom. You're fine on this one.
Okay, so this one.
When I typically drive the perfs, it's a dedicated fall into these.
Wow.
A little bit tighter on the buckets.
Feels like the M4, I'll be honest about it.
Yeah, really just tight and hugging.
See, I'm just
the thing is, you can see as well what we can do is get a shot as well from how aggressive this windscreen sits compared to like some of the other cars. And it does change up the visibility massively from the driving position.
So you've got no adjustment in the seat apart from front and back?
Front and back. You can't go up, down.
Wow. So this has got the racing.
If you get it above 4.5, 5, it's not bland, is it? You know, you were saying like Hurricanes are bland. I'm like, no, this is the car I wouldn't change. And this thing handles, if you can get away with it feeling much stiffer and being slammed to the ground in the buckets, this car is like a driver's purist's car.
It's crazy because in terms of the experience, just sitting here, it's a tight cockpit, but the experience of just starting it up and revving it is crazy. Like it literally. Obviously, this is a real driver's car. It's a Performante. It's their kind of penultimate Lamborghini in the Huracan range, but it's completely changed my mind. Oh wow! Wow. Whew. So we're taking Matt out for a drive in the M2.
Long time coming.
Yeah, long time coming, and I think the reason being is because this car is almost as quick as some of the cars in there.
Yeah.
On paper, in practice, obviously, 10-second quarter mile. That's what most of them do.
Yeah, that's it.
So it'll be interesting for you to experience it and let me know what you think of it. You struggle to get into some supercars, and you struggle to daily them. I mean, you know, I constantly have that issue with just general cars, like getting used to and comfortable with the car is difficult enough, let alone a supercar.
Yeah.
Which you might not drive every day, but you know, when we do our development research, whatever we do, like intakes, intercoolers, charge coolers, wheels, suspension, brakes, we use that car a lot. Do you know what I mean? And we're in and out of it so many times a day that it just makes such a hindrance if it ain't comfortable. And those watching this video will be like, hang on a minute, why is he after a comfortable supercar?
Yeah.
Well, try and get in and out of one. See that DCT? Yeah, I missed that. When you're driving the M3 and then you jump in this, it's literally the gearbox.
Yeah, I was in an M4 yesterday and it did just bring back some memories of like what I loved about the gear changes.
So you can hear the turbo.
Cool enough, yeah.
Second, you struggle a little, but kind of get it up in the range. And I think this gearbox suits this engine perfectly. Like sometimes I think the S55 is a bit too kind of constrained by the gearbox because I think it can do with a few more revs. But this is like the perfect power band.
I see 100%.
Yeah, what do you think?
I love it.
You love it.
We're gonna sell it.
It depends at the right price. I've never thought about selling this car.
Yeah.
But, I mean, would you reckon?
I think there's a market for it.
Really?
From what we've seen, it delivers so much. It delivers supercar performance and power and a smile on your face that at a, you know, at a quarter, you know, a third of the cost.
It's true.
And I think you display that to someone that they could potentially own this car at like £400 a month. I think it's a no-brainer, right?
Wow. If you put it that way,
get it gone.
so it looks like I'm going back on a train. Matt wants to keep the car and put the car up for sale, so
Watch this space. Watch it hit online, and then we'll have to introduce you to the new owner.
yeah, so hit up GVE if you want to buy this M2, and they'll have it up as soon as we drop this video. So Matt, I appreciate showing us around today, but you're gonna have to drop us to the train station, seeing as though you're selling my M2.
Yeah. Or we could take.
Actually, yeah, let's take the Bugatti. So don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, guys, and don't forget, leave a comment below as to what car in this showroom we should take as our next project car. 1,000 horsepower maybe? Take it easy.